Hello users, welcome to Apallax. This is r/twosentencerhorror. Enjoy. It's been 6 months since my girlfriend cheated on me, and I think it's time I let her off the hook. She's been hanging from the basement ceiling for far too long. I watched in shock as the coffin was lowered into the ground and covered in dirt. I didn't think it would be possible to fit both my parents in there alive, but I was wrong. She had her mother's face, I said to the police, a tear streaming down my cheek. I watched as they dragged my daughter away in handcuffs, and my screaming wife to the hospital with bandages wrapped around her head. The parents of a missing child went to see a psychic in hopes of somehow divining his location. The old woman's eyes widened and she cried out, "His heart beats strong, his size the only luxury, and his stomach is filled with only the finest cuisine. But your son is all over the world." I was tickling my grandson's feet. Sure, my pregnant daughter didn't like it. Seeing my daughter laying in the ground bleeding out terrified me, but seeing a gun in my hand with no idea how it got there scared me more. While waiting a baggage claim at the airport, I saw a large chest come down the conveyor. Next came the rest of the torso, then the legs and arms, and finally a head. After decades of research into quantum mechanics, I activated the time travel device, hoping to go back and stop tragedies. As I drift along through the emptiness of space, I curse myself for neglecting to factor in space to calculate how far the Earth would have traveled over 300 years. "Mommy, my friend's coming over," my daughter happily cheered about her imaginary friend. And then the motion detecting light went on. My wife's postpartum medication made her bawl her eyes out last Thanksgiving. It also made a veteran firefighter vomit when he opened out our oven. The movie director rubbed his temples, saying, "Look, I've told you before, you're supposed to act happy and grateful for being chosen, so let's do this one more time, or we'll just have to reshoot it all with a whole new group." "But I don't want to die too," she whimpered through tears as the clapperboard snapped and a masked priest raised his ancient sacrificial blade once more. She hugged the stranger in the crowd and whispered, "Help me, those 3 men have been following me." He smiled and whispered back, "It's okay, they're with me." "Ugh, you again?" I muttered as I opened the door, standing face to face with my young sister. "How many times do we have to bury you before you actually die?" "Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary," I said to the mirror. I looked at the background in horror as my sister Mary began bleeding from every orifice. "You have my heart," my boyfriend whispered. I grinned as I looked down on the still throbbing heart on my hand. "Are you afraid of the dark?" That was the last thing I heard before the light bulb shattered behind me. I'm a wolf trapped inside a man's body. I have been soon there to die. I made a new friend today, but like the rest of them, they don't seem to talk a lot. At least I got better at stitching. As a gardener, there is nothing more satisfying than tasting the fruits of my labor. My husband could only stare in horror as I took another bite of our child. I was told when I began working in a morgue, you'd never forget the smell of your firstborn victim. It was not what I expected they meant, and they were right about another thing too. You never forget your first taste. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to watch more of this. This is Apallax. Stay tuned.